Hello, folks. How are you doing? It's Charlie here from Service Please. Lovely to have you with us. Today's guest is a fine individual, beautiful human soul. He is Irish. Went out there when he went out there with some of his family when he was about 9. Ended up in Queensland. Was in Sunshine Coast, Brizzy. Worked in hospitality there from a very young age in a family cafe. From that, he went off on a different journey in psychotherapy. Worked with a couple of different mentors, and eventually came to Ireland about 6 months ago for a wedding. And from that, he felt it's somewhere he should stay, and he stayed here. Came back a month later. So I'm going to introduce you to Darren Reilly.
Thank you for having me. Which camera am I looking at? I'm looking at this one.
That one.
That one, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Charlie.
It's great.
Awesome to be here.
Dazza.
And so I work as well in the sauna with Charly, which is great. And loving being back here. And I mean, it's definitely vast experience, both good and bad in hospitality, but all of the above. And
was your first job in the family place?
Yeah, so my mom started a cafe when must have been about 16, 17.
Right.
That was in a place North Lakes. It's like North Brisbane. So started a cafe there. She initially started it with a business partner, and then I think 6 to 8 weeks in, the business partner jumped ship.
Right.
And then there was a whole, sort of
all hands to the pump.
campaign with that. But she, strong Irish woman, and little firecracker, as I call her.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of determination. I think that's where I get a lot of my business determination and fire from is actually my mom. And she took it from 0 to 1 million in a couple of years and did really, really well. But I mean, it was hard work. Like I learned early on, and it was beautiful working in there, and I learned so much in terms of connecting with people and networking and really being service orientated and focused on providing that service to people. And I feel that's often when people are at their best, is when the focus spotlight, as Tony Robbins would say, is off yourself and onto others. Yeah. And
it's something you've done a Tony Robbins kind of workshop and course, didn't you?
Yeah. So my parents, actually, probably about a couple of years after the cafe, and my dad was involved as well. My parents split up, and it was very sudden. And my mum was like, right, I want to change my life. I'm going to this Tony Robbins seminar. And I was very lost at the time. I went out of school and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was mad into football, like soccer, but very lost. And I felt the pressure of like, okay, do I go to uni? But I don't want to study something I don't really want to do. And I remember I was listening when I was younger or in my teenage years, these motivational videos, and you'd often hear this guy with this deep voice, really like commanding life. And then I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to go. I'd seen this stuff on YouTube. So
the first one you went with was with your mum?
Was with my mum,
wow, cool.
So the whole Tony Robbins journey was with my mum. So, which was a beautiful experience. And yeah, so I remember...
And what age were you, 19?
I was about 20.
20?
Yeah, so I remember walking into UPW, Unleash the Power Within in Sydney.
Yeah.
There was like 7,000 people in there. And I've got this guy, this powerhouse of a man on the stage saying, your beliefs create your reality, change your mind, change your life. And I remember just thinking, that's what I want to do. Like, I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but like, that is it. So then I invested in his master university, got like a 10 grand loan out. And then we ended up going to Fiji to Life and Wealth Mastery. And I remember being there, I was like 2021, and like all these business guys are coming up to me and be like, do you have any idea what this is going to do for you? And like, as you get older. And at the point I was like, yeah, like, I hope so. But I didn't really understand. Because I also Brotherhood wasn't around then. So I didn't have anything to apply it to. But I remember just stacking up the knowledge. And then we did his Date with Destiny, which is kind of like his bigger event in Cairns then again later that year. And it was just one of the best educations of my life.
Yeah, I've never done it, but I've spoke to a lot of people who have done it, and they've said it's been really life-changing stuff.
It's unreal.
And just how they felt charged and,
Correct.
Charged for life and charged for just the energy on it,
Well, that's it, because he's big about your state, right? So your state is derived by 3 main components, which is your physiology, your focus, and the meaning. So, so what are you focusing on? right? So any situation, what are you focusing on? What's the meaning you're creating about that situation? And then that directly impacts your physiology. You shift either of them, they tend to shift the other. So it's like, in the moment, what's my state? So is my body language, slouching, or am I feeling strong? So immediately that sends a signal to my brain that, okay, I'm confident, I'm feeling good. And then he's a lot about generating energy. So after a while, it's like, if he can feel the energy in the room start to slouch down, he'd be like, right, get up, play music, jump around, bang. And these are like long days as events. They're like 16-hour days, and you're getting minimal sleep and going back. And he just shows you, like, you can alter your state. And then, therefore, what am I focusing on in my life with whatever's going on? And then what's the meaning and the story I'm creating? And then you change your story, you change your life. Yeah. Which is the biggest thing with most people.
It's like your perspective, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the way you're viewing stuff. Like, lots of shit happens in life.
Yeah.
Bad stuff, good stuff. But it's the perspective you take on it, how you're going to deal with it.
It's like in psychotherapy, the biggest thing we're working on is like people's story. So it's like, for example, a dog bit me, all right? So then I create an association, all dogs bite. But then we realize a dog bit me, not all dogs bite. So it's the same thing with something in our life, whether it be our parents or, certain events. Yeah. It's the mind creates a story and goes, then sort of projects that onto
other situations. Yeah. Whenever you see other dogs.
That's it.
You start to get the fear. People that say, oh, I have a fear of dogs.
That's it. Or it's like
young.
One time I couldn't do something, and then I've created the association that I can't. And then that creates the behavior. And it's like, show me the child at 7, you'll show me the adult now. That's a whole labyrinth. But yeah.
And is that how, was it like from Tony stuff that you went into psychotherapy?
Yeah. So
like after you finished, you done, you were doing Tony's kind of Tony's stuff for 2 years, wasn't it? Yeah. And then, where did you end up then?
So then I remember I ended up at an event with a guy called Scott Harris, who's a speaker for Tony Robbins, and went to one of his events. And then I joined his Ultimate Coach Professional, which was like pretty crazy. So it was a 35 grand. So then now I'm in like $45,000 worth of, debt at the time. But I was like, no, invest in myself. This is going to be the best thing I ever do.
Good man. That's a big chunk of change for a young fella. You're 23.
Yeah, well, I was 21.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm too comfortable. I need something to put a fire under my bum, because it's like, I think that's the thing with young lads, is like you can get too comfortable. But I knew it's like I have to put a fire on my bum. Otherwise, like I'm going to sink here. Yeah. So I have to take action, because at that point I wasn't known. I didn't feel like I was known as someone to take action. Yeah. So I really wanted to build that.
Would you be, a laid back kind of a guy always?
No, like when I was younger, yes. Now I would say I've built the level of calmness, but I would say now I certainly am constantly like striving for greatness.
Because you described to me like your mum was always flying around the place.
Yeah, whereas my dad was more level-headed. Yeah, he was more level-headed. So I can fly around the place whilst being level-headed. So I kind of combined the two of them.
Yeah. But I remember you telling me in the cafe you used to, you were quite serene and calm going around the place. Your mother used to frustrate her. She was like, fucking move your arse.
Yeah, that's it. It would be like, I think there was the perception that I wasn't working hard.
No, but with you, because it's what she didn't see you physically moving around like hell, but you were thinking, oh, that's Chad behind there coming in. He's such
How can I leverage that?
Yeah, and so when he comes up, what his order is, you're going, how are you? I don't know why I picked Chad, but let's say it was Tom or something like that. What an awful name to give some poor imaginary fucker. But yeah, because you would know what people want and be able to connect with them in that way.
Yeah, correct. Because I knew that would invariably bring more income back, because it would provide a good service, which they would go and tell people, and then therefore it brings more people back. And if I consistently do that, it brings more people. So then we don't have to run around as much. Yeah. But there was still value, and I learned a lot from my mom in terms of like, there's the other flip side of the coin of that. It's like, okay, how can you maintain efficiency whilst also maintaining quality? So yeah, and then so there was the Scott Harris, and just before that, I went through a relationship breakup because I was in a relationship at the time, and we went two separate ways, and that was really difficult when we broke up. I had a serious anxiety, started having panic attacks. It was a cognitive dissonance because I was very codependent,
Right, okay.
And it felt like all of my stuff rose to the surface.
Right.
And then that's when I'd met, so there was a mentor who came into the coffee shop. And I remember we used to have a pink and a blue cup. And he came in with his wife. And I used to, again, I'd be like, right, 2 hazelnut lattes. I remembered the coffees. And I remember just thinking, this guy's a king, like great energy, you know, immediate connections. Like when I first met you, it was just like, okay, you just sometimes meet certain people and you're like, okay, this is someone who's going to be like a core part in my life. And then he came in with his wife, and then as a joke, I gave him the pink and her the blue. And then he started chatting to me about the group he had, you know, which was the plant medicine, psychedelic world. And he's like, hey, I've got this group. I think you'd really love it. And I remember connecting with him and then going into the group and going, holy shit. And I'd heard a lot about plant medicines and psychedelics and the benefits of them. And my friend had experiences with them. And, you know, I'd listened to Joe Rogan and a guy called Aubrey Marcus speak a lot about it. And at that point then, all the anxiety came to the surface. I was having panic attacks. I remember literally being on my bed at one point, like in so much like internal pain, that I was just like, help, you know, and I didn't know. And it was like the more it like got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then I was like, I've got to do something, but I don't want to take pharmaceutical drugs. So then, anyways, I was then 21 and going off and doing an ayahuasca ceremony.
Yeah. And this was with the guy who was the regular in the coffee shop?
Correct.
Right, okay. So there was the whole synchronicity thing going on
Correct.
there.
Yeah, meet the right person at the right time. You know, for every problem, there's an equal solution. And it seems to always come through once the problem's acknowledged.
Yeah, awareness of some shit before you can deal with it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because and then you can, it's all awareness, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then after that, went knee deep into the medicine world. Ayahuasca multiple times, many different journeys, and then maybe about a year. And then that was at that point I was reading books on male initiation and rite of passage and how important that is. And then that's where the Brotherhood started to come to surface.
Yeah.
And as I started to build that, I did some NLP courses as well. At points like probably over the years, I think spent probably about $100,000 on my education and still paying that back. And some points it was good investments, sometimes it was fucking shit, and like I really put myself in some dark points where I was like, I had to find a way out, borrowed money off people, had to pay them back, figure it out. So like that was a core kind of pillar of my sort of journey.
Yeah, and your own self-development in a way.
That's it.
Obviously you're in a bit of a hole.
Yeah, that's it. So you got to figure a way out. So I kind of like created this like domain where it was fast tracking the lessons of everything, some points to my detriment, but learned so much. And yeah, and then after I remember doing then a personal assisted psychotherapy with MDMA, where I went back into my childhood and got to have consistent sort of talking and therapy around that. And that was transformational. And
that was somebody that was in the
correct,
center
yeah,
you were
same
working
with same with that community. And yeah, I remember it was so weird. Like I always had a baby face and I couldn't grow a beard. And then
it's a nightmare for a young fella.
I know. Yeah, so I'm like, I'm reading this, I want to become a man, but I can't even grow a fucking beard. And and then I remember I had that session where I healed what felt at some deep parts of childhood. And within a couple of months then the beard came through, my whole physiology started to shift. Yeah, it was wild because the body is the mind. So the physiology started to change with it. And then I joined the assisted psychotherapy training. And I was in that for 4 years. And then they brought me on board and I worked with them closely as head of facilitator training for about 2.5, 3 years before I came here. So, and I mean, there's so much in that with the Brotherhood and things like that. But in the midst of whilst I was building all that, I was working in cafes, you know, majority of the time as a barista. Yeah.
In different places around Gold Coast? It was all around there, was it?
Yeah. So I was in Mum's Cafe for 7 years.
Yeah. And then you moved on.
I wanted to try something different. I ended up doing door-to-door sales because I was like, right, I need to get over the fear of rejection.
Good man, I've done that. That's a hard game.
Yeah, I made it, gamified it.
You kind of have to.
Yeah,
take your own ego out of it.
Yes,
because you get a lot of closed doors.
Correct. Like, I
Yeah.
have some good stories.
Did you
people
do
told me.
residential or commercial or both?
Residential?
Residential.
Yeah,
so
which is the
houses.
hardest.
Yeah.
You know, because and we were selling solar, but it was great fun. Like, there was a lot of lads in there from England or people backpacking.
Yeah.
We used to have a table tennis competition every morning, and
But that was one of those big sales offices, right?
no,
Was it not?
No, it was only like a small company, Infinity, I remember, run by younger people, and probably not always run ethically, but you know, it was
Make the sale, man.
yeah, that's it. And then I moved from like having a base to then commission only, and the stress of that. I remember I was working like 12-hour days, it felt like, and sometimes wouldn't even get paid. You know?
Yeah, and then you had to wait for the contracts to go live before you got paid. So people had a 28-day cooling off period and shit, no?
Yeah.
I remember I've done that in
I
London.
know. Yeah.
Done it in London,
And what was your experience with it? Yeah.
Mine in London was, I'd finished uni.
Yeah.
I was working in bars. At a nightclub, I was working at that stage in Fabric. And Fabric was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it was really, my Cadian clock would get fucked up every week because we would start on a Friday night at 8 p.m. and work until club closed at 5, so work till 6. Then you go home and try and sleep. Saturday was the long one. We started at 9, I think. Club opened at 10 and club went till 7. So Saturday during the day you wouldn't have a great kip, but after Saturday night, Sunday morning, you'd be going home, and there was no drinking after work because it was just until Sunday, of course. And then go home, you'd sleep like a baby on Sunday and wake up Sunday night. And Sunday night was a great night. It was this mixed gay night called DTPM, and it was like so much fun. The promoters used to just say to us, kind of, wear whatever clothes you like. And we used to just have so much fucking crack, And it was Sunday night, so it was the end of your week. Yeah. So we used to... basically we knew once we got around to 5 o'clock at close, we'd be, it'd be our time, So I did that, and I used to go party after work on Monday morning to an early house and do whatever. And then I'd got into doing this day job, this sales, selling gas and electricity. So they just deregulated the gas and electricity market in London. And it was banging doors, but it was a real 60 people in an office. Yeah. It was, I found it soul destroying because it was all this ring a bell when you made 100, 150, bell and a gong, whatever, 200, I think you read a bang, bell, gong, horn, and you'd go around in a circle and give everyone a high five. Yeah. It was stupid. And you'd your team leader, and they made overrides off you, so they wanted you to do better. It was that whole pyramid thing. Yeah. And I spoke about unethical selling. I'd just go to the door and I'd just say to them, listen, you want me to save you money? Same electricity, same juice, same gas. I'll just save you money. Yeah. And I used to keep it short and snappy, but I'd done pretty well out of it.
Yeah, I'd say you would have been good at it.
Yeah, but I was okay. But I only lasted a few months, and then I started doing something else. Yeah. Because I started studying, I started doing drama then, and I actually got to a point in it where I used to just have my work done by lunchtime. And then it was just hanging out with a couple of the guys. We used to go and shoot pool and stuff. Yeah. And then waiting to go back to the office. But I had
the purpose and reason's not there.
Yeah, and I didn't believe in it. And it was then, it was just, I just found the whole, that hardcore sales of shite. Yeah, me. Selling same as me. I was like, blah, I'm over this.
Yeah, well, you feel it in your internal integrity. It's like there's something just doesn't sit right.
I had some funny stories though, selling residential at the weekend. There's one that comes to mind was particularly funny, knocking on the door, like doing tower blocks. Yeah. I mean, another lad, we'd do a block each and knock on the door, and this dude comes to the door, and it's a rollover, obviously. There's a bang of weed at the door. And before it opens, I'm like, okay. Dude opens up, I'm in a tin of fruit, okay, and I've got one of those fucking philo-faxy looking things, but I still got the hair's a bit wild. And the door opens, and I was like, yeah, and I'm like, listen, man, nice smell out of the gaff. I think I'm trying to a bit of identify him in the first. I said, nice smell. I said, I don't usually wear one of these. He said, pretty simple, man. Nice tunes. I was like, nice tunes. Yeah, nice. Is that such and such? And he's like, yeah. And I said, oh, look, I'm here to sell lecky, but I couldn't be fucked, to be honest with you. And he's like, do you want to come in? I went, yeah. So I ended up going in. I think I took the check. There's about 8 or 9 people in there on a rollover. I stayed with them for a few hours, right? And then my mates ring me. I don't answer. And I don't think I answered the call. I think I texted him to go on. But what ended up happening was I ended up doing a bit of partaking in the party with them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, gotta get back to the office. Got all of the guys signed up in all the different gaps, right? So 8 contracts I had to fill in. We used to do a thing, you needed the MPRNI number, but I'd just get their date of birth and I'd ring up myself and pretend to be that person.
Yeah, nice.
And I'd get it, because they wouldn't know any of this. So don't worry, I'll do that. And then, done that and went back to the office with like the record ever sold on residential of like 8. And they were all about to be really excited. I was a bit wonky going back.
Yeah.
Because anyway, there was whatever happened, but I remember going back and your one Charly, I'll never forget, it was my team leader. I said, Charly, listen to the deal. I'm not going into that room with all those people. Want me to fucking clap? I've got 8 contracts here. I'm going to sign them up. She's like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's the people. I said, no, it doesn't work like that. Otherwise, I'm gone. I'll put these in next week. I'm gone.
Yeah.
No. So anyway, that's what I ended up doing. I just put them in and left. And went to the pub with my mate John. Because I had I was just it was really funny, and actually stayed in contact with the guy. I used to put him at the door for fucking for fabric, sound lads, lovely
great.
random meters.
And it is like you do meet like the stories and the people you meet there, but like that's the thing, isn't it? It's when you have that connection with people, and you feel that human connection. And I think that's what I learned differently even in my last space.
But that's what you learn working in hospitality, is to connect with, be able to connect with somebody kind of quickly.
Yes.
Or see what they're, being able to read a situation really well. That's something we speak about here is, the people skills you get.
That's it.
That you will use in later life, which you're using now in, say, psychotherapy and what you're doing in your own personal journey, which, you will like start to be able to size up a situation really fast.
Correct.
And that's a massive skill.
It's massive. Like my mentor used to say to me, he's like, with these skills, a person can come into a session. It's like within 7 minutes, you know what it is. It's the same for me now. Like with the intention of them sitting down, it's like, okay, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about, something. I know what it is within a couple of minutes, but then there's the journey of taking someone on a journey so they can come to see it.
You know what it is, their blockage kind of thing.
Correct. What's fucking with them.
Yeah.
So, but then the skill is to be able to listen first, so you can listen to their language, and then use their language to communicate back to them what it is.
Yeah, that's NLP shit.
That's it. Yeah. But like that's generally coming from a place where you're assisting the person. So that's where the skills are relational rather than transactional, where it's like, for the good of the person, you're utilizing their words to build rapport, but like that's from a place of building connection, so they can actually hear you
as well.
And so they can hear you, and then you can hear them, and then from there, like true change can come through. But that's just, it's relationship building, right? Which is the core and the key. And sales is really good in that regard, and I think sales is transferred in a different way for me, where it's just, you're sitting down to communicate with someone, understand where the problems are, and then assist them to come to a yes or no empowered answer. And if you genuinely feel like your product or service can assist that person, and it will, then it's your obligation to assist them to, step forward into their highest self, which can be, taking that leap, buying that service. And if not, it's not the right time.
Yeah. And that's kind of that's brotherhood, kind of what you're talking about there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell me about, I know about brotherhood, but tell me about brotherhood like I don't know about brotherhood.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it.
Yes.
Tell me, what is it? What is brotherhood?
So brotherhood is a space community for men aged 21 to 35. We're really targeting...
I'm too old for brotherhood. See that? Ageism already. You know like that?
Well, see, the main thing I found, and like, to communicate that is
he's embarrassed. Look, you've never had that one before. I didn't know the age category. So go on,
No, but look, it's like generally guys older than that, they have a family, they have kids, and I can't communicate because I'm not in that stage of life. And out of integrity, I personally feel like just not my tribe. Whereas, the 21 to 35, generally brotherhood and where I'm at, and as I've been growing, like I feel more confident too speaking to those individuals. And again, it comes back to lingo. It's different generations.
Yeah.
So because, the stereotype is guys in their 40s listening to a 28-year-old speaking about life to be like, what the fuck do you know
Yeah,
about
I hear
life?
you. You'd be a bit like, what the fuck does this
Yeah.
whippersnapper know?
Yeah,
Who the
that's
fuck is
it.
he telling me what's what?
Yeah.
Doesn't know what it's like to have fucking
Correct.
3 kids at home and the missus not happy.
Exactly.
Get out of here, you. Yeah.
Whereas like with the lads around my age, they're still building. So I'm speaking from the example of like, hey, I'm still building too, but these are the tools I'm utilizing and they work. And like, don't go down that dark alleyway. There's a fucking dragon down there. So it's really to create a team, because our motto is together, everyone achieves more. So the background of football, I really was seeing there was a lack of initiation or rite of passage for manhood. So there's a lot of lads.
Because you were involved in coaching and stuff. You played a pretty decent level of football.
Yeah,
didn't you? And then got into coaching and stuff
Correct.
as well. Yeah.
So then, and my dad was my coach. So that was a core part of my like fundamental learning was observing him and his ability to understand with different individuals, like, you know, this dude needs an arm around the shoulder, whereas this guy needs a bit more fire, you know, and like his ability, like everyone respected him and his ability to galvanize us when we needed it. And then to nurture us a bit more when we needed it, which was a real people skill again.
Yeah. Knowing who needs a kick in the arse.
Correct.
Knowing who needs, arm around the shoulder.
That's it. And that's the thing, like you can see with certain individuals, like where do they respond better? Because sometimes you can do damage to an individual with one or the other.
No, it's the same. Like it's the same managing a football team, managing a crew in a restaurant or a bar or coffee shop.
And you know all about that.
Yeah, same thing. It's a football analogy, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So then I seen, my mentality goes, well, we have, and there's a lot here in the Irish culture as well, like sport and football is a massive thing. And there's that camaraderie and everyone says, oh, they missed the crack after they leave football or there's that transition. But my mindset goes, well, why don't we have that for life? You know, where you've got a team of other high-performing fucking weapons who are alchemizing their pain into purpose and creating that high-performing environment to educate on emotional intelligence, to educate on what is healthy masculinity, to step into the best version of himself, to not go at the whim of life, but as Tony Robbins, it's like grab life by the scruff of the neck and do something with it, and then utilize these tools to build a life so you can step forward. And as I've seen, because I used to feel like in life I was very much like a nice guy, but then on the football field, I was built to be this savage warrior, you know? And then there was like this separation. So a lot of men nowadays feel like, well, if I'm too aggressive, I'm unsafe. But if I'm too nice, like no women are attracted to me and, you know, I get walked all over.
Yeah,
so it's like, what the fuck's the middle ground here? So then as I've come to understand, it's having the capacity for both. It's the strength, the assertiveness, the discipline, the leadership, and marry that with emotional intelligence, compassion, and love. And you can be both.
Yeah, and knowing when to use it or when each is appropriate kind of thing, or when you need it really, or that's the situation desires it, requires it for stuff to move forward.
That's it. Because like as Jordan Peterson says, a good man is capable of mass destruction, but chooses not to use it, but has it there if needed. And you know, again, sometimes some of the lads come in, you know, there's a lot of people who are talking about, and so rightly so, it was like, oh, well, men need to be more emotionally intelligent and vulnerable. Like, yes, but also sometimes some men need more fire. Like, they need to see the ability that they can be a fucking savage, you know? And that's why we utilize things on our retreats like the primal scream, because they literally activate like that warrior in them and they realize like, hey, my masculinity is a powerful aspect of who I am. And the world's telling me that it's dangerous, but it's like, no. When it's contained in a healthy environment and it's expressed, like that is the part of you that can set boundaries, that can speak your truth, that pushes through the barriers, which women find attractive anyway, you know, once it's contained in a healthy way.
Well, contained or controlled, yeah, and it's not out of control.
That's it.
People don't have the fear that you're going to tear their heads off.
No, but then they can feel safe knowing that if danger was there, you could tear someone's head off for the sake of safety. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's that fine balance of, but then yes, balancing it with, we can say it's like the warrior with the lover, right? It's like the different archetypes, the king, the warrior, the magician, the lover, and the joker. And it's like the king generally is the last archetype to fire on in boy psychology or like man psychology, which I say is like the steward of the mission. So that's where purpose and reason comes online. So, and then therefore then the king communicates with the warrior aspect of ourselves to build the kingdom. And then we've got the magician, which is like the seer between worlds, so spiritual knowledge, insight. And then you've got the lover, which is that romantic side, but also the artistic, the creative, and the emotional capacity. And then the jester is the fun and loving aspect that all just doesn't take it too fucking serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the Joker's the last one out of the pack. He's the one who can tell the king to go fuck himself. You know, so it's that I feel creates a whole individual.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm in touch with all those aspects of myself that, as we so rightly said before, I can tap into and jump into at any point when it's needed.
When you see it's fit.
Correct, when see fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and then you see that, so that is when you've got, you know, your personality is developed out to, you know, a point where you can call on any of those traits, and also that's when you can go and sit in any situation.
Correct.
You know, with any individuals, with any group, and not be, you know, once you're not intimidated by them, you're comfortable to have conversations with any level of people, you know?
Well, that's it. And you know, even what you're talking about there is authenticity, right? So authenticity on the emotional Spain scale is actually the highest vibration. So it's 2112 hertz. So it even surpasses love, right? So, and this is part of my training, is it's coming to deep authenticity with who you are. But then it's like so many people are sitting with, well, who the fuck am I, right? And that is a journey, and that's a process where, you know, the medicine really taught me. I remember I had this perception of like, oh, I needed to become someone. It was constantly this journey of like, oh, I need to be fucking Tony Robbins, or I need to be that. And there's this projection outwardly. And I think that's very prevalent with social media. Everyone's seeing the example, or guys tied up to the ideals of like what's an alpha male, but that's also someone else's projection of what it is.
Some people trying to be what they think they should be,
rather than being
what they
who
see
they
in
are.
somebody else.
That's it. Whereas I remember I had a journey with the strongest entheogen, which is 5-MeO-DMT, all right? And Mike Tyson's done it, Tony Robbins. There's all these people coming out of that experience.
The toad?
Yeah, the toad, Sapo.
Toad, yeah. Sapo.
And I remember I received it, and then it was just complete clarity. It was just like the mind went, and I realized I am the person that I've been looking for the whole time. Like that internal voice that, you know, would always be that intuition, and all the things that I like and that I'm passionate about are exactly who I'm supposed to be. And I actually don't want to be anybody else. And it was just like, I remember bursting into tears and just feeling a deep level of self-love, because it was this realization of like, I don't need to be anybody else. Like it's me. And that's that journey too that I talk a lot on with Brotherhood, which is assisting the men. There's like kind of 3 points, which is connect back to who they are and their innate strengths and where they need support. And then from there, generally, as they connect to themselves, mission comes online. And as mission comes online, it's okay, how can we build that mission now? So you're giving your gifts fully to the world.
There's whether it's true or not, there's a famous quote that's attributed to Oscar Wilde, which is, be yourself, everyone else is taken.
I love it.
Which is true, to be content with yourself and comfortable then with yourself. And that's when you were saying about authenticity kind of comes into it, you know?
Correct. And from that place, because it's like we all wear masks, because it's who did I need to become in order to fit in? Yeah,
and it's something working in hospitality. A lot of people need to have. Something we spoke about here before is the masks that, you know, we need in life.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a protection or a survival thing.
Yeah.
And also, though, you know, in hospitality, it's used more because people tend to, you know, I'm having a bad day, but I got to go out and, I've had a row with my missus. I'm fucking just about to be evicted out of my gaff. And I've got to go to work and be front of house boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, Mary has things. You know, so you learn to put on these masks.
Yes.
But the hard bit is learning to take them off.
Correct.
I think.
Yeah.
And to be true, you know.
Well, that's it. Yeah, because again, it's context, right? And time and place for things. But yes, the importance to drop those masks if you are wearing them. Because there's a lot of weight that comes with them. Because it's more so an outward focus of who do I need to be. It's like a chameleon. Who do I need to be in order for this situation? Who do I need to be for this situation? Right? And a lot of people who are social at times generally have come from a chameleon background, where it's like they learned that. I know I did. It was like when I went to Australia as a kid.
You were 9?
I was 6.
6?
Yeah, and I remember one of the first things, like,
so
came
make
home.
Friends.
That's it. I remember with the Irish
talk
accent.
funny.
Yeah. Well, we were
Did you
playing
get
this
it?
game and they were like, I'll be the first captain. The other kid's like, I'll be the second captain. I was like, I'll be the third captain. They all burst out laughing. And I went home to my dad. I was like, Dad, why are they all laughing at me? And he's like, oh, because turd means shit.
Shit. And that's a word they use a lot in Australia.
Yeah, that's it, turd.
Turd, yeah.
And so then within a couple of weeks, our accents changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a survival thing.
Yeah.
And then therefore, I had built that pattern of like, who do I need to be for this situation in order to fit in? So a lot of my process was relinquishing the expectation of who I feel I need to be, and then the connection back to who I am. And then from there, I connect with environments that align with my values and who I am, rather than, just bending to situations. It's like, no, if that doesn't align with who I am, I'm not going to connect with that. That's not my space.
Yeah, and I suppose that's where, coming from that age of a 6, 7-year-old boy, 8-year-old boy trying to fit in a new country and a new schools, friends, towns, all of the above, it's probably a little bit traumatic for someone to be moved into that.
Yeah.
And having to fix to that too. Coming to your early 20s, late 20s, and being able to, see that, hold on a second, I need to cast off all this mask wearing stuff and get to my true self.
Well, that's it. And I think, like, in a weird way, life invariably brought it on to me. Like with the anxiety, it was like my body just got to the point.
Because with the anxiety, like for that, because, sorry, but you were saying with that, like, how did you get from that guy that was struggling to leave his room to, going and doing something about it? Because that's the hard bit. Yeah. The hardest step is that step of, isn't it? And it was hard. The first one.
It was so hard. Like, I remember I literally had to retrain my body language, my whole, like, the medicine really assisted, but there'd still be situations where, like, I became a shell of myself. I go into social situations and the anxiety would come up and my body language, and as I was shaking, I'd have to remind myself, just breathe, open up your body language, don't worry about what anybody else is thinking. And then I used to visualize it's just like a 6-year-old in me that was scared. And I used to actively communicate with myself, like, hey man, it's all good. I'm here. I got you.
That internal voice, that's trying to control that.
So I had to retrain myself into like, but then as I did that, it was like all of those things started to strip away. Because the worst things that I felt could have happened. Like, I remember there was a group of school kids that came in, I knew from school. I had a panic attack in front of all of them. And like the worst thing, like embarrassing myself, or like I'd get into situations where I could see people would notice I was very anxious. And like for me, the worst things that I could have thought of happened, where like I'd embarrass myself or whatever it was. So it's just like, well, the cat's out the bag now. Like, it's done. I can only go up. Yeah. So I just started to positively reinforce, and through exposure, just put myself into those situations and journey with the medicine. That was perspective
then,
Correct. Yeah, so I changed the meaning.
Yeah.
But again, so much easier said than done.
Yeah, it would be.
You kind of have to get to a point where no one's come to save you. Like you've got to navigate that yourself.
Someone's hitting some kind of rock bottomy kind of thing, and you're going, okay, I'm biting dust here. I'm going to only go up.
That's it. But it was interesting. Like I remember with the medicine, I used to get insights to like my truer self and like the calmness and the confidence. So like I'd get little, and that's the magic with it. It's not a silver bullet. Like it will show you moments of, if you put in the work, who you can be and who you truly are, but you have to integrate that. And now I get to the point, like, I'm not anxious really at all. There's the odd time where, it comes up, but I have the tools to navigate through it.
Yeah. And you can identify it and recognize it and go, oh, hang on. And have that and then control that internal dialogue in your head.
Well, that's in regulate. Yeah. Regulate my nervous system.
And the breath.
Correct. The breath, sauna and ice bar. I need a bit more self-care, because we say, well, it's all about self-love. What's the answer to self-love? Self-care. And self-care enables you to self-regulate. Because that's the big thing, right? And even as we're talking there about the vulnerability with men. So understanding vulnerability in war meant open to attack. So that's men's perception of vulnerability, right? But then, yes, it's the ability to be open with our emotions within a safe space, but the ability to emotionally regulate. Because what tends to happen with a lot of men is they go from like completely stoic, cold turkey, suppression, to complete expression, but then they get stuck in the emotion. And then the mind comes up of like victimhood.
Okay, you mean the festering kind of thing?
So I'm stuck in it then. So as we say, it's like just the mind will always look for what's wrong because that's what it's built to do. And naturally, when a charged emotion comes online, the brain's going to go, where's the danger? Because I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I just feel the emotion. Just allow the mind, knowing the mind's going to go haywire, but I acknowledge the emotion, it allows the energy to flow in motion. And then therefore the story goes. It's like I'm able to regulate. I'm allowed to feel sad. I'm allowed to feel angry. It's not okay to think I'm a fucking victim of life though. It's like life's happening for me. However, I'm allowed to feel sad. And then as I feel the emotion, I regulate it and then I become clear.
Yeah. Like with all that going on then, right? And I mean, it's pretty amazing where you've come to now from where that was and that journey. But with that going on, you were still working in, hospital, were you?
Yeah.
Still dealing with the fucking public.
Yeah, that's it. So again, exposure,
Yeah, and then you just had to,
Just had to kick on. Again, I had my mom in the back there going, see how fast you're working, 10 times faster.
But you left there anyway. You left there when you were, 23, 24? You left your old place.
Yeah, so I left there when I was 22.
And what kind of places then did you end up working?
So I worked door-to-door sales towards the end of that year. Then I was back in coffee again. I only worked for a couple of months in a cafe. Then when COVID hit, like you could get on like Centrelink or whatever it was, like payments. So I leveraged that period of time. I was out of work for like 6 months. Then I started up my Brotherhood podcast.
Okay.
And then I actually ran a free group for a whole heap of myself and mates throughout COVID as like a support. So we used to jump on calls every week. We'd be holding each other accountable in chats on like working out. So like it was real support throughout COVID whilst that was going on.
And that was the first Brotherhood was, there was something you started, your idea, your brainchild. It's not like, not something else out there.
No, and that was the first kind of creation of it.
Yeah.
Where I was like, podcast. I started doing one every week. And then we had that group and I was doing it for free. And I was just like, right, we're just going to build the reps now. And it really started to work. And then I remember with myself and my best mate, we had a few journeys and then there was like the idea of this retreat. And we would go out in nature and we took some mushrooms and like it would almost be like the mushrooms were teaching us, okay, what is this going to look like? I'd be playing this epic music like a movie and we'd be like, fuck this and that and getting insights around life and our mission. It was just so cool. It was one of the most creative points of my life where it was just so much fun. We were just like... and realizing we're in this like movie of life and we're the heroes of our own stories. It was awesome.
Deadly. And that's when you kind of first came up with the idea for the Brotherhood retreat.
Yes.
That's when you kind of built it in your mind.
Correct. Yeah, because then I started the psychotherapy training later that year. And then pretty much within only like, I think it was maybe 3 months, I like took the structure that I learned from training, which was 4 parts. Because in psychotherapy, we learned there's a welcome, congratulations, there's a guidelines, there's a resolution, then there's a conclusion. I was like, sweet, I'm going to take that, put the same structure on my Brotherhood retreat, forging the Brotherhood, moving from head to heart, and then initiation, and then integration to new life and new self. I was like, right, fuck it, I've just got to run the first one. So we ran the first one, there was 5 lads who came along. It was a complete shell of what it is now, but it was the first one. I was like, I've just got to do it.
Yeah.
And then I ran another one later that year. I only had 2 people come, still ran it. I was in the minus, but I was like, okay, I just got to build testimonials. And then later that year, I ran another one and then 9 people came. And then that's the first time we tried the primal scream. The structure just seemed to form. There was all these core lads who came in that would end up assisting me to build it and like word of mouth. And then that's when it like was like, right, this is the thing. So I ended up running 10 retreats and I was trying a lot of one-on-ones, but it never really worked out. And then I remember... So
the group was just the pack you felt was what made the magic, was it?
Yeah, well, it's Brotherhood, right? And then the online membership model came in. I remember actually after an ayahuasca ceremony, I was driving somewhere and it was like a gush of wind. It was like membership. I was like, fuck, that's it. And then I built online circle space on this platform because I was working then with the psychotherapy space. And then I I took their kind of modules and then built them into an online modules. And then we created this online platform with like different video modules. And then I was like, why don't I use that for Brotherhood? Because I took the time to learn how to build it there. So then I built it for Brotherhood. No one came initially, but then I ran a retreat and then like 4 people jumped into what was the Brotherhood Academy. And I was like, right, we're up and running. This thing's going. So then, yeah, from there. And then that's now evolved into what's called the Brotherhood Inner Circle, into what it is now. And then I also one of the guys from that retreat was like, hey man, do you do training? Like, obviously I was head of training in my work. So I was like, I could do this. So initially I was like to him, I was like, well, I don't, but I'm happy to build it with you. So then he paid me and I was like, right, let's just fucking build this as we go along. And then I had 2 more people jump in. And then I got trainees. So then now it's like formed into what it is. We've got the retreat, we've got the inner circle, and then the facilitated training. So it's like all kind of built as it's gone along.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just been, I hate the term, but organically grown.
Yeah, that's it. As I've grown it. As we were saying earlier, it's like your business is always a reflection of yourself. So it's like your ability to, we learned 3 core things in psychotherapy. Reality is reflective, reflexive, and intentions everything. So it's reflective of, so first my intention, so what I bring into the world will reflect back to me. So if my intention is pure, reflect back. We can all look back on our life in certain scenarios where it's like, okay, my intention wasn't really pure there, whether it was a relationship or whatever it was. And then generally it tends to reflect back eventually what the intention was. So that being super key. So where's my compass? And then reflective is, yes, it will constantly reflect back to me. So if what I'm bringing into the world, it's going to reflect back. And it's also constantly, my business is constantly reflecting back to me where needs development or my relationship, because every relationship is reflective of the one with myself. So again, relationships too will reflect back to me. And then reflexive, meaning if it's like if I go to punch someone, they're going to reflex and dodge back and punch back at me. So it's the same thing, understanding that. And this is getting kind of existential now, if we want to go here.
Okay, go for it, man. Why not?
So as we'd say, if God is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. So God being figurative, not this man with the beard on the cloud, right? The universe, source, consciousness.
Whatever you want to call it.
That's it. Omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, everything, everywhere, all at once. All right? So it has done everything, is everything. We're all it. We're all an essence of it. All right? So then it's like, okay, well, do I make the sun come up? No. Right? Do I make the sun come down? No. It's like the sun is just far enough away that it doesn't burn us, but like not too far that we go cold. And it's like you look at the way nature is and the nature of everything, right? So then it's like we're in a floating ball of mud in middle of space.
Going around a big cold place.
Right, so we don't really know if we're
happen to have this gas thing around us that holds in the heat enough.
And do we actually know that that's real? Like, we don't know. I haven't been up there to see it.
I haven't been up there to see it.
No, that's it. So, and it's like, so this is kind of going that way. So then it's like, okay, well, then it's like, well, where is this happening? Well, it must be in the mind of it, source, God, universe, right? So then if God is everything, everywhere, all at once, then is there anything wrong with reality? If it's all God.
It's wrong with reality. Well, I mean, you'd have to say there is things wrong with like reality.
Right, but isn't that our
maybe you don't see the purpose of what they're for.
Correct.
All right, so because we just don't get it yet.
Well, that's it. So our mind's always looking for what's wrong. But then it's like, okay, well, if God is everything, everywhere, all at once, we're not in control. We don't make the sun come up or the sun go down, the grass grow. It all does it on its own. So then it must all be it. Right?
Yeah.
So then there can't be anything wrong. So then it's like, it's just my perception of it. But then it's like, is there anything wrong with me?
So that's just acceptance, really. You have to accept this is how the situation is.
Because I can't change it.
Yeah.
But then true empowerment comes through, right? Yeah. Because then also if I'm an aspect of that, is there anything wrong with me?
Well, no, I don't. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd always think of the question and ask myself is, am I doing something here that I shouldn't be doing? And if the answer is no, it's okay. Is there something I should be doing that I'm not doing?
Yes.
And the answer to that is no. Well, then I've done my bit.
Yeah, correct.
Do you know what I mean? Like after that, it's out of my hands.
Well, that's it. But the pure essence of who I am, is there anything wrong with me?
No, we're generally
Awesome.
we're all, yeah.
Which then is the biggest thing that people come to, is realizing, fuck, there's actually nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, no, we're all,
Right,
I believe,
that's it.
good
You know,
humans, good
that's
souls, yeah.
And the
yeah.
more you get in touch with that, yeah, there's always going to be improvements and we can navigate through. But the essence of who I am, right, if I'm connected to everything and I'm not in control, then the essence of who I am, there's nothing wrong with me. And then when you have that belief and that perspective, doesn't mean I'm not here to grow and learn, but I'm no longer beating myself over the head.
Yeah.
So self-flagellation.
Yeah, I know, Jim. You're not giving yourself a hard time. That internal dialogue where you're, you know, ridiculing. Yeah.
That's it. Because then I'm also then, it's reflective of then, if I have that relation with myself, how am I going to be with others too?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, I heard a great thing was, you know, the internal dialogue in your head, which you talk to a child like that, the way you talk to yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, you
6-year-old.
know, of a friend who would ridicule himself in his head, and that's what I said to him. I said, would you talk to, you know? And he was
That's
like,
it.
fuck no. So
Yeah.
he uses that now as a way to stop that.
Yeah.
As you said, self-flagellation, you know, that beating yourself up for shit that usually has already happened,
That's it.
or stuff that maybe is not even going to happen.
Correct.
You know, it's a fear of the future rather than something that's actually happened. The past stuff tends to be things that you've done, and maybe you fucked up, maybe you've done something wrong, maybe you made a bad decision, but you know, you can't change it.
No, and what I loved is
You
a guy
can
Peter
learn from it. Once you're learning from it, then I think it serves a purpose.
That's it. And like, obviously, whatever power had that situation there for you to learn right then there, that lesson.
Yes.
So
yeah.
so it's like Peter Crone says, and I love it, so how do you relinquish regret? It's like, how do you know everything that happened was what was supposed to happen? Because it did. If it was meant to happen any other way, it would have. So that's where that conversation I was having before is like the relinquishing of the need to control. Because me saying reality should be different to the way it is me trying to play God.
Yeah, and that's been having quite. You need to have quite a lot of faith for that. I didn't realize you were so strong in the faith side, man. You know? Yeah, you need to have a lot of faith in that and belief in order to surrender that up there to that. You know,
correct.
And the acceptance, and then you know, acceptance of a situation.
Yes.
What about the philosophical argument about, well, what about all these people dying? What's going on in Gaza at the moment? Like, tell me how that's all part of a great fucking plan, please.
Look, the thing is like with what my mentor has said to me is, like, I'm still human. So like, if I see a child in front of me, like being hurt, like I'm going to step in, like there's a moral compass. All right. So that, that is, it's a touchy subject in terms of that regard, because from my personal in my life, like I can assist in the support of where I can assist in that regard. So like the awareness, but can I do anything about it? Can I assist them to stop what's going on?
But is that part of a bigger plan? Like some lads just, you know, walked into, you know, Sudan, capital city. It was abandoned by the military, and they were like indiscriminately shooting people in hospital on the floor. Now, what's that?
Well, look, my mind goes to, right, so I've sat in psychotherapy sessions, so I'm just going to focus on the micro to bring understanding. So I've sat in psychotherapy sessions where people have gone through the most heinous situations, right? And it's like, how do you assist a person to navigate out of that, all right? Well, it's really them coming to an acceptance that A, it did happen, and B, they can't necessarily go back and change it.
Fuck yeah, unless you got that time machine that no one seems to have.
Right?
Yeah, I agree
so it's like,
fully.
And then also having that person, like that person's not there in the room for them to communicate with.
The person that the bad incident happened with.
Correct.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So then it must be forgiveness of the person, but more so forgiveness of themselves.
Yeah. Because maybe there's a bit of guilt for the one who are in that situation.
Correct. And then there's also the why, the greater why to the existential side. It's like, why did I, the greater me, do that to me? Right? But then it's must have been for a greater purpose in my life. Because so often that individual then goes and alchemizes that pain into purpose, stands on stages and speaks to individuals about how they navigated out the other side. Because the duality of reality is like, there's the yin and the yang. For good, there needs to be equal, negative, bad. That's the nature of reality. So in my life, to stand from an empowered place, generally what I focus on is how can I alchemize my pain into purpose. I can't help anyone. All I can do is be the example of what I wish to see in the world.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So,
and then that way people will
do with that as they please.
Yeah, normally they'll be attracted to that. So it's like that you're attracting it by an example, by living the way that you think is the way you should be living. That as in to be positive, to be, to be something that maybe others might go and go, I want a slice of that. How come he's like that?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Well, and people, my understanding then of that sort of existential point of view is like the people who are for the support and like the reconciliation of what's going on in Gaza, that's their purpose. Like they have that focus because that's who they're here to be. Mm-hmm. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So they're there to then show the other flip side of that, and they feel so passionate about it because that's their purpose here.
Okay.
Is to bring the awareness of that.
So they're warriors on that issue.
Correct.
Kind of thing,
and that's who they're
saying.
here to be.
Okay.
Right. So it's like,
but they choose to be. They choose that though. Well, I suppose we don't know. Maybe
they're
chosen.
That's the paradox.
Yeah.
That's where you kind of. I know it's like we can go really deep here.
Yeah. We can go down a wormhole on this one. Yeah.
Do we know? Are they the one making that conscious choice, or is there like thoughts being placed in by some sort of fate or whatever it is? So that's.
Is it something innate? Or external in a way as well, you're kind of saying there,
Yeah, that's it. And it must be both because reality is a paradox.
Yeah.
These are the conversations we used to have in psychotherapy is you're playing with the nature of reality. But my understanding is, beyond the esoteric perceptions is more so understanding what's my philosophy and what works for me.
And you're placed within it then, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, what simply has come back to me, and again, this is just my point of view. It doesn't make, as I say to people, take from this what you will and discard the rest, right? Is, if it feels light, it's a yes. If it feels heavy, it's a no. As simple as that. And like
you go with feelings. You go inside. Yeah, I'll be a believer in that and trying to follow your gut or your heart or whatever, something down here as opposed to up here. So I agree with you. The head tends to be to protect you and watch out for, saber-tooth tiger coming to eat me.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you know what I mean?
Because the mind will always look for what's wrong, because that's what it's built to do. Like, majority of the time, what's fucking with a lot of people is their ego. Now, the ego is not a swear word. We all have one, because thank God we do, because that's a part of us that says, don't go down that dark alleyway, you may fucking die.
Yes,
right?
That's true. It's necessary for survival.
Correct. But we used to have this, on the altar, we used to have this little depiction of Shiva, which was like, is the destroyer. So Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, creator, preserver, destroyer. So Shiva has like a cobra on his shoulder, and he used to be sitting there in a very meditative position. Shiva was always representative of the echo of self, the ego mind. So a balanced ego is a beautiful thing. But so often we go through our life believing we are that voice, right? And then we then do the work to realize it's only an aspect of who we are. Because we're not given a manual. It's like, here's the car, and here's the fucking gears, and here's how it works, right? So then the mind is constantly running off of, that's obviously more the amygdala brain, that survival brain, of keep me safe, be perceived for saber-tooth tiger. But it's like, what's the voice beyond that, right? And once I know what it is, when it comes up, it can start to work for me rather than against me. So it's like certain situations, like when I'm in a relationship, it's like something might be triggered from childhood, and like the mind's running haywire going, I can't trust this person. But is it an emotion that needs to be acknowledged from childhood? And then I just quieten the mind and acknowledge the emotion? Or do I react out of that? So it's, again, there's so many variables, but that's where like emotional regulation comes through. Yeah. To understand, okay, is this voice serving me in this moment, or is it not?
Yeah.
So then once I understand, like, we all have an ego and the mind always looks for what's wrong, I can train my mind to focus on what it is that I do want.
So this is what you're talking about, tools.
Yeah. These are all tools,
Coping mechanisms, whatever it is with situations like that. So what would you say to people that are, they're struggling with that and they haven't maybe just got to that level yet, but been able to deal with it? What little tools or coping mechanisms can you see working for, people who are,
I'd really encourage, again, some sort of space for them to review what went on in childhood. Because, you know, show me the adult at 7, you'll show me the child at 7, you'll show me the adult now.
Do you think it's all related to childhood? A lot of stuff now?
I mean, yes and no. It's kind of like the nature versus nurture argument. But once I understand, so my formative years, the first formative years of being 0 to 7 is when we create our blueprint of the world based on mum and dad. So we're more like a sponge. Right? So the subconscious is really at the forefront. So I'm like a sponge, and it's like, this is how men and women are. And this is, you know, so your parents are literally your only sort of model of the world at that point.
Yeah.
So then consciously or subconsciously, you're retaining and banking information. Right?
Yeah, true.
And then
building up a picture,
That's it. And as Carl Jung once said, until I make the unconscious conscious, it will rule my life and I'll call it fate. Right? So often in psychotherapy, it's assisting the individual to see, it's like, oh, I think this way because mom and dad's relationship was like that, and I seen they behaved that way, so that's why I do. You know, and then, but so often I'm running off of so much unconscious patterns because 80 to 90% is subconscious programming. So I'm more like a computer than anything. So, but if I can't see what it is, I don't know that that's what it is that's fucking with me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yes, you know.
So really it's going back and it's having a space to just be aware of why I think the way that I do. Because then once I know what I'm working with, I can shift it. If I don't know what I'm working with, it's like something's there, but I just don't know what it is, right? So that's, again, the importance of, with Brotherhood, the team, because it's like when I have other people to assist in reflecting back blind spots, you know, that I can't see, then at least once I can see it, I can navigate out it. We said it before. It's like if you can't see a perceivable problem, it's like how can you find the solution? Because you don't even know it's there.
Yeah, you're unconsciously incompetent in something.
Yeah.
You're able to see something. Yeah.
So, my encouragement would be there. And then, as we said before, it'd be just noting the internal voice. So it's like when I speak to a 6-year-old, the way I speak to myself now, if the answer's no, I'd say, why the fuck do you speak to yourself that way?
Yeah.
You know, so that internal talk.
Is that what will be happening? You've done one of the retreats here in Ireland, haven't you?
Yeah.
How was that? What happened in that?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. So the real essence of that, first and foremost, is like for men, the big thing is they so often feel like they're the only one that's experiencing what's going on internally for them. So they can feel very alone. It's because they don't hear other men talking about the struggles. So their perception of the world is just like, oh, well, it might just be me. So majority of the time, initially in the beginning, it's about, you know, I do this exercise called crossing the line. And this is where the structure comes in. I'm like, right, so it's all about, in the initial parts, forging the brotherhood. So what creates the best teams throughout the world? Let's trust. Well, what creates trust? Vulnerability. So being able to see each other and one another. And then it's also shared hardship. And once they go through that, you can bond any team together.
Yeah.
So because vulnerability bridges connection. So initially in the beginning, I did this exercise. We've got lads lined up. I'm like, right, cross the line if you've ever felt sad. Cross the line if you've ever felt happy. Cross the line if you've ever cried. Cross the line if you've ever made someone cry.
Yeah.
You know, cross the line if you've ever been hurt. Cross the line if you've ever hurt someone. I'm like, so right, lads, we can all see we're pretty much the fucking same. So we can leave our egos at the door. And then we start to see, and then initially the weight starts to drop. And then I actually have a question on the first night, which is really powerful, that only came through a couple of retreats ago, which is, what's something that's bogging you down that you want to let go of right now? And then they'll share that, and we all go around and share it. And then initially all of them start to see like, oh fuck, like I'm not the only one who's experiencing this. And then the weight starts to drop, those armor and those shields. And then from there, at least now we can start to bridge in deeper aspects of self, which is the connection back to who they are and connection back to nature. And then from there, it's the tools and the awareness and starting to plant seeds of them to then live out their mission, because the more they connect to who they actually are, it's like me with Brotherhood, I could start to see, okay, what am I passionate about? And then that's generally for me a golden Easter egg or an indication to who I'm here to be, you know, rather than trying to do something I don't want to do, which sounds like
because if you don't want to do it, if you're not passionate about it, it's never going to work. It's going to be a chore.
That's it. And like, you're not going to get the results, which is not going to earn the money, which is like not going to, you know, produce what it is you want to do. Whereas you're far more like my kind of argument is you're exactly who you're supposed to be. all those things that like lights your energy up, that's fucking just what you're here to do. And it is as simple as that. We try to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, we do actually a bit, don't we? Yeah.
And that's where, you know, I know when I have kids too, I'll be like banking. Okay, cool. Let's, you know, who are you? What I know you're your own unique being. Like, what are you passionate about? What do you love? You know, and it's like, do that.
Yeah. And at the moment, say, but you haven't, the change that you've gone through from, you know, it's what, let me see, you moved over when? March?
In June.
Was it June?
Yeah, end of June.
Okay. So you're here now 4 months?
Yeah, 5 months. Yeah.
5 months.
4 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you obviously had massive change that occurred over those 5 months, because it was pretty quickly you'd planned to leave Australia.
Yeah, so it was in the matter of, I think, 6 months from making the decision, I moved.
Right. Wow. Because you were over for some wedding, wasn't it?
So, no, I came over so the end of last year. My nana was really sick.
Okay.
And I hadn't been back in 9 years.
Right.
And, you know, divine timing, I had an influx of cash that came through, and I booked the flights within a couple of days. Because it was one of those things I was like, I couldn't live with myself if she died and I hadn't seen her in 9 years.
Did she pass?
No, she actually got better as we came over, which was beautiful. It kind of revived her.
Brilliant.
So it gave her a sense of purpose.
Excellent. That's great.
Which is the core of also my conversation. It's like, even the Japanese, I think like it's even Ikigai. You know, it's like these people who live so long, there is all these cultures that prosper where they're healthy. Generally, it's like they have a sense of purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because it brings the life force online.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it was just, again, being in all these tools, being in touch with my internal guidance system. I realized the life that I was living in Australia was amazing, but like the stress levels and what I was doing and...
Was it? Yeah. Was it stressful? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The hours were crazy, and just I was constantly working with people.
She said you were working like crazy over there.
Yeah, and see, again, my pattern was like focusing on other people. It's kind of like at times even the, you know, because I've got a therapist now too, and she's been discussing with me about the wounded healer. So the pattern can be, you know, utilizing my challenges to assist people before I even acknowledge it myself.
Yeah, well, it happens a lot with people is they'll see people with problems and want to fix them rather than fix themselves.
Well, that's it. And then it's realizing there's nothing to fix, you know.
Just to deal with it.
Well, that's it, just to acknowledge it and take the time. So, yeah, and I feel like it's a strength of mine, the drive to assist, but just ensuring I'm not forgetting about myself.
Yeah, make sure your cup is full before you start.
That's it. You know, which is really, really crucial.
Trying to share, yeah.
Yeah, and like, I mean, that's where I learned. I remember I was building, with my last workspace, they got me to build a course on the central nervous system. And I didn't know the central nervous system a whole lot about it. So as I was building this course, I was learning about it. I remember like we were all burnt out as a team. And like, again, we're still, you know, what we talk about, but like at times, like with the humanists, like I have these tools because I still fucking struggle with them at times, you know? And that's the nature of it.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Normal. That's life. Yeah.
You
you
know?
do burn yourself out.
Well, correct. And what we teach is also what we most need to learn.
Yeah, true that.
Because you're so intimate with it.
Yeah.
That's why you become like an expert at it.
Yeah.
But I remember reading, like building this course, and I was learning about the sauna and the ice baths, and I remember just thinking like, fuck, like I need this so much, you know, I need this course is for me.
Yeah.
But that is the magic, is you know, those things you are intimate with. And
you were working in a sauna or an ice bath place over in... No, you used to go there, did you?
Used to go there a lot, yeah.
Yeah,
I loved it. Yeah.
That place. But it's amazing to see the difference in people actually after coming into the sauna and leaving, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Especially first timers.
That's it.
You know, by the time and I don't mean them leaving that day, but I mean when they become regulars, and then a few months later, you know, Jason's a classic example.
Yeah, huge.
He used to be up the walls.
Yeah.
And now he's a 5 day a week fucking nice.
And man. He's super chill.
Yeah, you can't keep him away from me.
Well, seeing part of the reason why too it works so well is like you live and breathe it, you know, like you genuinely do. And like, same as myself, like I love utilizing it. And when people come and they see that like the person is immersed in it and lives and breathes it.
Yeah, it's authenticity again, isn't it? It's
back to
that. It's back to that,
It's like, why did you build it? Because it's the thing you need. Yeah. That's what I realized. I say that to the Brotherhood lads as well. I built this cool community because I thought, fuck, how cool would it be to have other lads who are like also like-minded and build something we're all, you know, building together and having these conversations. So that understanding there is.
And you brought along, for our listeners today, you brought along part of the Brotherhood to give away, didn't you, for to share?
I've got some manuals and some digital assets I can certainly offer. Yeah. Actually, I did. I've literally I did a webinar there probably about a year and a half ago, talking all things purpose, which I've got on my Brotherhood page, like for free for anyone to go on and have a look if you want to go deeper into these sort of discussions and purpose and my sort of philosophy with it. You're more than welcome to go and have a look.
Excellent. Because it's something now that, like, I mean, you see this, I see this in life, the people, whether it's on their phone, whatever it is, there's more of us in the air, but we're less connected.
Yeah.
I was in London and I read it was on the tube, and it said like 65% of Londoners report being lonely. Yeah. Every week.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a city of 15 million people, but it's so, you know, there's no connection. And it's so, like, what you're talking about doing is kind of creating community, creating connection, creating a bit of brotherhood.
That's it.
Is something that is, you know, it's really needed and pretty special, you know. And something we've talked about, we're going to be starting is doing a men's circle in the Secret Garden Sauna in there, you know.
Yes.
And even tonight's little soiree in a little bit of dancing, movement sauna, disco sauna tonight, which is going to have a ritual with the, you know, essential oils and the ice, and it's going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. I was making the playlist yesterday, actually. I was mixing it. Yeah.
Well, see, that's it. It's like, how can you, the answer to everything, and that's what my mentor really taught me too, is community. Like, you know, at the end of the day, if you build community and a place where people can connect with like-mindeds, have fun, like, people are really seeking that in the digital age.
Big time, because it's harder to connect now.
Yeah.
You know, and people are stuck in their phone so much. I know I'm always kind of battering on about the phone thing. I'm always saying,
no, but it's the truth.
It is, because I mean, I can be a slave to the phone myself.
Me too.
Fucking hate it, you know. I love the airplane mode. Give me airplane mode, turn them on, nobody can get me. It's great, you know.
And that's part of, like, even the Brotherhood retreat. Like, generally I go to places with no reception. Yeah. So, like, you're connecting back to nature. Like, it's very primal, getting out into that, which we can be so disconnected from. And it, you know, the medicine world taught me that so much is ritual. You know, we watch all these movies and we kind of joke about it, like Avatar, you know, but their connection to the land and that was the way we were. You were speaking about the paganistic traditions. Like, there's something to that so often we lack. And look at it, it's like grounding. There's the science coming out of nutrients. We're connecting to the ground and just getting into nature, and it brings a sense of peace. It's healing.
Absolutely, man. When my head is wrecked, Jeff, I get out into nature. And down to the beach is my happy place, I suppose, because it's close. But even up a hill, you know, or into the sea, something like that, there is I find a massive calming effect off that.
Yes.
Whether it puts it in perspective, we're only, you know, it's not that, whatever the shit is that's annoying you, it's not that significant. I'm not even that significant. Fucking get a grip here, will you?
Yeah.
What are you yourself in a fucking hoo-ha about, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I find is the amazing thing. And maybe that's why all those poor lonely devils in London, nobody gets out to nature.
Well,
much,
that's it.
You know?
Yeah, it's a brick jungle.
Yeah,
but it's just disconnection, because it is, and you know, we were built to be in tribes. We were built to be in communities. I mean, there's so many ways that can go into that, and then as well, like the movement of the body. You know, I know for me, gym and
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm actually reading some stuff at the moment on the, like, because I did before about the lymphatic system, and just how amazing that is. You know, and for getting rid of toxins, for getting rid of, you know, feeling foggy, feeling tired, and all that is to do with the lymphatic system. And it's like an ancient, it's one of the only systems that, like, we learn about cardiovascular, how good it is, how important it is. We learn about, you know, the nervous system, respiratory system, you know, or, you know, digestive system, gut's getting a lot of press at the moment. Happy gut, you know, happy head kind of thing. And this stuff of serotonin's all made in there and what you eat and, you know, your biome, which makes sense. But the lymphatic system, like, it has no pump. So there's no way for that juice, gunk, to be taken away. And the way it's get taken away is by movement. Do you hear about people bouncing?
Yeah, I've seen there's so much more of this where they like flick and they do that.
Yeah, the bouncing
thing,
rebound, it's called on the trend. It's called rebound therapy, which is a little trampoline and you bounce banana. But that's also the same from just bouncing on the, you know, skipping.
Tony Robbins
running,
had that.
Running, whatever it is. Yeah. Or, you know, shaking off if you're in a stress situation, shaking off it and just shaking the energy up in your body. But that's the you know, the lymphatic system, which is, we don't stimulate enough. You know, I was learning lymphatic stretching, you know, for doing that, which is really good. I do it in the sauna in the mornings. It's like I go in there and by myself.
I think I've seen you. And then I know Lee is into that. And interestingly enough, I remember in Tony Robbins and Life and Wealth Master when we were in Fiji, whenever you would, it was super cool. They had like these whole set of trampolines at the back, so rebounders. And like, I remember we'd get in the morning, they'd have the music on, we'd all be rebounding, then we'd jump to different ones. But whenever you were like learning, and so there was a talk going on, if you found your energy slouching down, because we were also fasting at that point too, you could just go off the back and like jump and your lymphatic system. And then it also is changing your state, which is then changing your focus and your meaning. Yeah, no, you know? It is.
It's the physicality can affect so much, you know. Yeah. Even just, you know, it'd be great if we could do this out on the hill. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, we're probably going to get pissed on today. Yeah. Actually, it's nice and sunny outside. Yeah. Even just like what we done before coming in here was just going out to the beach.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Just sitting there for 10 minutes and going, having a look at the sea. I didn't even tell you. I just stole you. I said, come on, we're doing this, you know?
That's nice.
That's why we were late, James. So come here, on a few questions I'd always ask everyone, right? So here are ours, or I don't mind, but like best meal, most special meal kind of that you've had.
Oh, most special meal that I've had.
Yeah, not the most special, but best experience. Can be because of the food or it can be because of the person.
Oh, wow.
Or the occasion.
Yeah,
you know?
That's a good one. The occasion. Best meal. Wow. I haven't even thought of that.
No. Now it's not, doesn't have to be the food, man. The food is the vehicle to the occasion, you know.
I think the occasion, the best meal I've had.
You know, you had a bit of a going away dinner when you were leaving Australia, did you?
Yeah, there was a lovely, I'll note that there was a lovely dinner, I think the day before I left Australia. That was really nice. My mum was there, I had some friends I worked with, and that was beautiful. Like we all brought things together and like a share platter, and we all helped cook and prepare it, and it was a lovely going away. Like my mind goes to when there's people around. Yeah. When there's people I've loved, and just genuine connection, where you feel safe, you feel comfortable, you feel at ease, and just memories are being made, and there's laughter and joy and just love. Yeah, that's where my mind goes to.
And come here, would you ever see yourself getting back into hospitality?
Oh, look, never say never. I like, you know, I don't think so. I think where I'm navigating is going more into the online and then business realm. Yeah. That's again, never say never, but kind of with the opportunity with the business with online, I just can't see myself opening a brick and mortar business
anymore. No overheads, too much pain.
Just too much staff, everything. I've seen it all, so I was just like, no.
So listen, last meal or kind of you're heading to an island, you can bring something to eat and something to drink. What are you bringing?
Okay, nice.
All right, so what's
good? Let's go the Australian Zambrero burrito.
Okay, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And then
is that what's the Zambrero? Is that a chain over there?
Yeah, it's like they have it here too. There's one in Drada.
Is there?
It's like a Mexican burrito place. It's not like traditional Mexican though, but they have a really good one in Australia. Oh my god.
Really? It's the same chain over here?
Yeah, same chain.
Same franchise?
Yeah, Zambrero.
I'll find it. Go on.
Yeah, it's just on the West Street on the corner there as you're walking up. And drink. Beverage.
Light libation for you, sir.
Lemon, lime and bitters.
Lemon, lime, and bitters. Angostura bitters all the way. Good old Aussie drink.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the
lemon,
girls
lime,
love
and
the
bitters.
vodka and lime sodas.
Yeah.
Lemon, lime, and bitters. Fuck.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I haven't had one of them in ages.
Yeah, out of a glass bottle too, just fresh. On a nice hot day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's the back of the throat.
Nice. Well, Darren, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank
joy
you,
and
my
honor,
friend.
man,
Thank
to
you.
have you here.
Yeah.
And talking all things life, really, and hospitality in the way it affects it, you know.
It's an existential conversation.
Yeah, proper. We got a little deep today.
Yeah, we did.
We got
That's only the surface.
Yeah, a little bit deep. It's the time we had, you know, which is pretty good.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, man, it's been great. So thank you for making the time and coming and seeing us, you know.
Absolute pleasure.
So folks, yeah, it's Charly obviously here from Service Please with Darren Reilly. So we're going to sign off and we're going to leave you to have a wonderful weekend. All right, you know what to do. If you enjoyed the podcast, you can like it, you can subscribe it, you can share it, you can love it, you can just slag it off, but that wouldn't be nice. All righty, listen, we're going to leave it there. Take care.
See ya.